What's going on? Welcome back to another video. Today we're out on the lake, which is something I have not said in a very long time. I don't get to do a lot of freshwater fishing. It's pretty cool. We're on a lake that had a boat ramp, so we dropped the Gheenoe in. I think this is the first time the Gheenoe's ever been in freshwater. Being on the lake's cool because you have the opportunity to catch a lot of fish and pretty quickly. We only have a couple hour session today. We're targeting a species called peacock bass. They live down here in South Florida. It's another invasive species. If you saw a couple weeks ago, we did a video on the bullseye snakehead, which was epic. The peacock bass, however, they were introduced into the Southwater Florida system by the FWC in the 1980s because it was being overrun by other invasive species. The peacock bass comes from the Amazon, and they brought them in here to hunt down other invasive species from the Amazon. So anyway, one thing led to another, and now there's peacock bass galore out here. And as fishermen, we love it. They're really fun. They fight better than our largemouth bass that we have native. Yeah, I haven't caught one in a good while. So I'm here with my buddy Dennis. Met him at the boat ramp this morning, and let's see what today has to offer. I'm not really sure. We got great weather. I really wanted to throw some topwaters, but it's a little bit cold out today, so I'm not sure if the peacocks are going to be exploding on topwaters or not, but we'll see. I'm probably going to use some small lures. I'll go over some of the lures and stuff that I use to try to target these, but that's enough talking for now. We're going to make a little run to the spot, and then we're going to get to fishing. As always, I appreciate you tuning in, and I hope you enjoy. All right, cool. So we just got set up. Dennis just dropped the trolling motor in. We're about to take a stealthy approach, try to get on some of these peacocks. I wanted to quickly show you guys the lure that I'm using. So this is called a Zara Pooch. It's actually discontinued. I don't know the last year they made it, but I used to fish this all the time when I was a little kid, and I remember it used to crush the peacock. Dennis just made a good point. It's matching the hatch. So as we've been coming through this water system, there's all these little tiny micro baits, and this is the perfect thing to sort of imitate what those baits are, and that's basically called matching the hatch. So we should get some really good results. It's slicked out calm like a lake, ironically. Yeah, so we'll see. I'm hoping to get some nice strikes to show you guys on the topwater, and we'll see how it goes. If this doesn't work, I'm gonna switch to a little tiny jig, but everything's gonna be like micro style today to try to match the hatch. And the water, like I said, is a little bit cooler, so you want to try to finesse the fish when the water's cooler. They're not going to be as aggressive because they are an exotic species. So, and we're coming into winter time. That's definitely enough talking for now. We're gonna get some lines in the water and see if we can catch some fish. All right, here we go. Just got rigged up. Throwing a 15-pound fluorocarbon leader. Got to keep it light. Got to keep it subtle because the water is really clear in this lake. Dennis and I were speaking. I think that's a reason why there's a good fish population in this lake, is because the water is nice and clean. Hopping up on the Yeti, see if we can catch a fish. They're kind of going off all around us. All right, so there's some baits right here. We could see them just gently flickering on the surface. Get in there with a sporadic walk the dog action and see if we can get a fish to eat. I thought that was a person. You good? Ooh, 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 fish on me. Ah! The thing about this little lure is the hooks are so small. The hookup ratio is really not that good.
Hey, if you put any bigger hooks on
it won't float. The one I hooked the yellow jack on in the Bahamas. Fish on. All right, got a fish on. Let's see if these little hooks will keep him glued. Oh, he's tail walking. It's a little largemouth. Fish one of the day, little bycatch, largemouth bass. This is the native species, and we're going for the invasive. No offense to largemouth, they're just simply not as cool. It's not their fault. There it is. Gotta love topwater fishing. If you love fishing, you love topwater fishing. That's just a given. Fish are going off right in front of the boat. I don't know if it picks up, but that's a pretty good sized school. Dennis and I are about to get in here with our topwaters. Oh dude, this is freaking sick. Big school of peacocks. At least we think that's what they are right behind us. Or right in front of us actually. Dennis made a good point. This is not your traditional type of peacock bass fishing. Typically you're like canal hopping or fishing docks and stuff like that. But this is in the middle of the lake basically. And they're eating bait fish. It's almost, it reminds me of more of saltwater fishing. Oh. A fish on. That's not a bad fish. That's not a bad fish. Let's go, man. I do have a pretty loose drag because I mentioned I have really tiny hooks on here. And I remember as a kid, the hooks do pull on these, so you really gotta go gentle. This thing's dogging me. What is this finna be? Come on. Get your head up. What do you think, Dennis? Peacock? Oh yeah, it is. Couple pounder. Nice. This is exactly what I want to show you guys. Look how beautiful this fish is. It's just right here in the lake in South Florida. We're honestly super blessed that these fish are here. They're so cool. Wow, this one is beautiful also. I mean, I haven't caught one in a while, but this one looks beautiful. Oh my God, dude, look at this fish. Am I tripping or the color's really nice on this one?
I think that clear water.
They're vibrant. Oh my God, what a beautiful little peacock. I mean, it's not a bad size one. It's probably, I don't know, 2.5 pounds or so, maybe 3. It's got a false eye. I feel like the last few times I went fishing, fish have false eyes. Just a defense mechanism, especially when they're juveniles. I've mentioned it before. When something goes to hunt this fish, fish tend to go for, they try to eat the fish by the head. So they think that that's the fish's head, and then the fish can just swim off using that false eye as protection. So hopefully I explained that. Oh, just broke the hook on this thing. Check out the colors on this fish. We're about to let it go. But I mean, the greens, the yellows, absolutely gorgeous. Got kind of a red eye, and then you got the orange under the gill right here. I don't know if it's picking up correctly in camera, but it is popping in real life. I just think this is such a cool fish. So pretty. Almost has like, you could see like on its top fin right there, it's like blue. It's like an iridescent blue. Redfish tend to get that sometimes. My God, this fish is pretty. I picked up those little topwaters on eBay actually, because like I said, they're discontinued, but I remember them producing, and so far it still reigns true. It's gonna take our time, let this thing revive. Water's got a nice temperature, not too cold, not too hot. Just took my first cast since releasing that peacock. I lost the back hook on my lure, so I had to kind of jimmy it back in with some pliers. This is how it's looking now. These things are super duper delicate. Maybe that's why they discontinued them.
Oh, dude, perfect timing. Come on. Oh! Oh! Oh!
I wasn't recording. Oh my God.
You're recording on here.
I just got a nice topwater pipe. Oh my God. Let's see if this freaking makeshift screwed in hook holds up. Oh my God. I'm having a blast out here. Dennis called me yesterday afternoon. I was at the gym and he's like, you want to get on some peacocks tomorrow? I'm like, dude, let's send it. By the way, I need you guys to hit that thumbs up for your boy because I'm fishing Dennis's rod. He's letting me borrow it because I broke one of my favorite rods that I've had for a very long time, my ultralight setup. And a couple of weeks ago, you guys saw I broke another custom that I had. So I've lost 2 of my favorite rods within a month span. So do me a favor and hit that like button for your boy, if you don't mind. These are the prettiest peacocks. Dennis fishes here all the time. I have never fished this lake. He's telling me the colors can get even crazier than what we've seen so far, so it's probably the easiest I've ever played a fish in my life. I think he's hooked pretty good. Open up, open up, open up. Gotcha. Nice one. It feels a tad heavier. All right, gonna be smart unhooking this one. I'm gonna use the pliers. This little hook got him good. There we go. Fish is unhooked. All right, another pretty one. Holy, look at this. Look at underneath his eye. There's like, it's almost got that iridescent blue you were talking about. So pretty. This one has like really pronounced oranges as well underneath the gill plate. Super, super pretty. Beautiful little fish. Again, release him in this clean water. You can see it's got like a little tiny hump on his head. That just shows me that this is a male. Females won't have it. And then when they're in breeding season and they're spawning, that hump gets really pronounced. These are nice peacocks, man, to just be eating topwaters.
In the middle of the lake.
So cool. Come here, dude. It's like my pet now. Nice. Oh my God, swinging and missing like crazy. Are you kidding me?
Oh, now they're not coming back.
They went to town on it for a second. Look at that iguana. I think it's cool as hell. Come on! Oh, oh, that was so... Oh, double! Oh, I got a nice one on, bro. Dennis and I just doubled up. He's got the largie. I think I got a peacock. Get that sucker up, bro. Gonna shout out your boy's handmade jigs. Oh, I'm gonna have a little... I'm gonna have some trouble right here. As long as I don't lose a lure, I'll be alright. Oh.
A little freshy?
I actually have to come to that side of the boat. Yeah. I actually have to move with this fish. Oh, okay. Oh, head shaking like a beast. It's another nice one. This one smoked it. This lake is very unique. That's the first bite we've gotten even remotely close to the bank. Everything's been out in the middle. I'm just not used to that with peacock bass. Oh, nice jump. This one's a little darker, huh? All right, come here. He's glued good too. Hold on. Wow. Here's a cool example of the variation in color that these peacocks can have. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier. This is actually called a butterfly peacock. There's different species. Let me know if I'm wrong down in the comments, but I know the big ones that live in the Amazon are, I think they're called the 3-bar. Is that what they are?
Temensis, yeah.
Temensis, and they get, I don't know what the record is, but it's probably north of 25 pounds. The state record here in Florida for the peacock is around 9 pounds, and it's not out of the question to break that record. It gets broken pretty often, actually. It's 9 pounds and some change. All right, gonna let this little guy go. I think it's the smallest of the day, probably, but they've all been relatively the same size. Oh, he's lively. There he goes. Sweet. I am trying so hard to get Dennis on a fish, but it's not working out. But we'll get it.
Bass.
He did just catch a bass. I'm trying to get him on a nice peacock. Okay. Whoa. That was freaking sick. It's a largemouth, I think. That's probably the best one of the day. I'll show you guys this thing with the big camera. Although if you fish, you know what this is. Just a largemouth bass. LMB. Little guy. It'd be cool if we caught a big one of these. They're around. Saw some earlier. Still looking for a big peacock. We got some decent ones, but still throwing the top waters. The sun's starting to peek through the clouds, so we might switch to some jigging, and we might move around. The water's so clear now that we have a higher sun. We might be able to sight fish some peacocks kind of sitting near the bottom. So, see what happens.
I think we should get a little closer to the shoreline and just try casting like parallel.
I was not recording, of course. Dude, that was the blow up of the day. I don't even know if I still have this fish on. I don't even think it's that big. I think it was just a big blow up. Oh no, it's nice. It's a peacock. Wow. Oh, wish I was recording for that one, but it's all good. Oh, he's gonna jump. We've been trying so hard just to get some of these topwater bites, and we pick up the camera for like 15 minutes at a time and nothing happens. We put the camera down and the next cast we get bit. That's how it goes sometimes.
Tale as old as time.
Tale as old as time. This one is going bonkers. I think this might be the biggest of the day. They're all right in that same range. Whoa, look at this guy, dude. He is not happy. I'm gonna let you go, buddy. Definitely a male. I'll show you guys. He's got that. This one's protruding a little more than the others so far, that hump on top of their head. Pretty sure it's like full of hormones or testosterone or something like that. Oh yeah, it's definitely the biggest one of the day. Nice one. All right, check this guy out. Really, like I was saying, it's got the hump real pronounced on this one. I wanted to get the sun on this fish so you guys could see it. Got the topwater right there, right in the top of the face. Super pretty fish. It's starting to get that blue iridescent color that Dennis was mentioning earlier that these fish get in this lake. This is definitely the biggest one of the day. Not by a lot, but maybe by like a half a pound. We're gonna get it back in the water and get it released. All right, we're gonna send this fish back on its way. Just pulled the lure out. Really pretty fish. I would say maybe close to 4 pounds. I really hope this picks up on camera because this is so beautiful. These peacocks in this lake are just absolutely gorgeous. There's that little lure. You can see how tiny this little topwater is, and so far it's really producing well today. Get the orange right there. So sick. Off he goes. Still crushing them. We've only been fishing for, I want to say, an hour and a half, so gonna get back on this bank. We kind of switched up the way we're fishing. The fish kind of stopped blowing up in the middle, so we're just going right down the bank. Dennis made a good point, just do some parallel casts, and we're kind of power fishing right now is what you call it, just casting until you run into a fish. And so far so good. We've only been doing that technique maybe 10 minutes and it's going pretty good, so we're gonna get back to it. Nice one. Mayan. Dennis just caught what's known as a Mayan cichlid. This is one of the species that the peacock bass were introduced to control the population of. It's just another cichlid. A peacock bass is actually not a bass, it's a cichlid as well. That makes an excellent snook bait as well. Snook have adapted to eat those and make it a part of their diet, especially when they live in fresh and brackish water. So Dennis is gonna let that thing go and hopefully get a peacock. See what happens. All right, real quick, I'm switching over to the dark side. Basically, I'm gonna be throwing a small jig pattern bait. This is known as a crappie jig. obviously, it goes without saying, it's designed to catch crappie, which is another fish that we have here in Florida. Not too many around us, but towards Lake Okeechobee and north of that, there's a lot more. But it works very well for peacock bass. The peacock bass, we're noticing the pattern now is they're not as aggressive. They're not on the top of the water column blowing up baits. We're seeing some, but they're down low, so we're adapting. And we're gonna fish the bottom. Hopefully we can pick off a nice one. I wanna get like a 6, 7, 8 pounder or something like that, just to say that we got a big one in this video. It's been a while since I caught one that big. I mean, a long while, 10 plus years. I think we can make it happen, so we've got a couple more hours to kill. Let's see what happens. They're on me. Got him. Peacock's right here, man. Oh no, it's another largemouth, isn't it? No, it's peacock. Little peacock. Little dude. This one's pretty too. He's got a lot of spots. He looks completely different than the other ones so far today. Small guy. Maybe like a pound or so. Cool fish though. Archie. Are you alright?
That is the first time that's ever happened.
That was a close call. Basically, it just almost pierced your ear.
This bass is trying to kill me.
Dude, girls pay a lot of money for that, bro. You just almost did it for free. Super cool iguana right here. Another invasive species here in South Florida. When they get big like this, they turn orange. They're usually green, but these big males that are super mature turn orange like this. Must be a territorial dominance kind of thing. Something for mating, I'm sure. Not much happening with the deep water stuff, so we're back on a bank here, power fishing like we were doing earlier. That's where we've seen pretty much the best results today, or at least in the recent part of the day. Oh, that is a peacock. Dude, I saw that. Oh, that's a nice fish. All right, real quick, there's a dock behind us with a homeowner on it. I don't think he wants us snooping around, but there's a peacock there, so we're gonna go for him. I put the Topwater back on, so let's see what happens. He's on a nest, right? Probably gotta switch to something else. He's not gonna eat it on top. I need to stop being lazy. I need to put the right lure on. Okay, so these are definitely 2 peacock bass. It looks like they're on a bed. They're being super territorial. I hooked one for a second, but I had the wrong system, so I took a second, took a deep breath. I put something on that I think is gonna work really well. It's just a little tiny mirror lure. It's got some treble hooks on it. And I'm gonna try to get this fish. It looks like it's gonna be a nice size one from what I could tell from here. All right, well, I'm not talking because I'm, well, it wasn't the fish I was going for, but I think he's still there, so. Whoa. Still a nice fish. This is the female. It's a breeding pair. This one's actually really beautiful. She was a little more aggressive. Oh, come here, baby. Oh, Jesus. She's got that spunk. If anyone's concerned about fishing for breeding fish, I understand. But in my experience, she's gonna go right back to that bed, unharmed. Not gonna be any issue. Get the pliers to get this hook out, and then I'm gonna quickly try to get that male, because I think that's gonna be the biggest fish of the day, possibly the last fish of the day. We gotta get off the water here pretty soon, so check this girl out. Really pretty. Got some nice dark black bars. Gorgeous fish. I'm gonna let her go quick. Let's try to get this male. All right, going for the male. Instantly. Hopefully I got a good hook in him. It's a nicer fish. Come on, baby, stay glued. I'm just trying to get him away from that dock. Get him out here into the open water a little more, then I can let him fight. Woo, nice. Oh, sick jump. This is a nice fish. I hope he stays glued. Sick jump, man. Oh, cool, man. Come right in here, baby. Oh, watch your head. Hey, grab him. Got him. Oh, by far the biggest fish of the day. Probably like a 5 to 5.5 pound peacock. Engulfed this little lure. I had a feeling this lure was gonna be the ticket. Look at that mouth. That's a pretty good sized mouth. There's the little lure right there. Super nice fish. Check out the hump on his head. He's really got the hump going because obviously he's in the breeding process, so that testosterone or hormone or whatever it is up there is pumping. Look at this thing. Really pretty. Look at that dorsal fin. I don't know if that's coming out, but that thing is like really blue. That is a sick fish, man. God, that's so cool. Keep dumping him in the water, just making sure he's breathing. We're gonna try to film the release, but it's a fish and it's alive and it slipped out of my hands. What can you do? Alrighty, so that's all I have for today's video. I actually had an absolute blast out here on the lake doing the freshwater thing. Like I said, I don't freshwater fish a lot. If you guys have been watching the channel, it's mostly saltwater stuff. But going for the peacock bass, it was real nostalgic and they're a ton of fun. I mean, they fight really hard, they're aggressive, and this isn't even like the best time of year to target them. So yeah, I think we're gonna do some more stuff like this. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up so I know to do some more freshwater content as opposed to just always going saltwater. And I just wanted to say I'm really grateful for how this video turned out, because I came up with the plan in my head to get that little topwater plug that I have not seen in stores. I mean, it popped into my head. Like, I remember I used to use them as a little kid and they were really good. So I went on eBay, actually found them, bid on them, won the bid, which was sick, and I took them out here and they really produced. They still produce really well all these years later. So that was really cool that that plan came to fruition, and that doesn't always happen as a fisherman. So anyway, any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below. It would be awesome if you subscribed and hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. And like always, I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you in the next one.